Seeing no speakers, that hearing is now adjourned.
Pursuant to law, public hearing will now be held on the following matter: amending the official map relating to the Hitcher Street Roof Improvement Project. Introductory number 406. Any person desiring to speak in reference to said matter will now be heard.
Seeing no speakers, that hearing is now adjourned. So we'll now begin our speaker council session. All speakers will be given 2 minutes at the podium. We respectfully ask that each speaker offer council the same respect they would expect to receive in return. In doing so, please refrain from profanity and other harmful language. Council members have the contact information for all of tonight's speakers and may follow up on any concerns that pique your interest. Clerk Washington will call each speaker to the podium. We ask that you respect the time of those waiting behind you and that you yield the floor at the end of your allotted 2 minutes. Clerk Washington.
Irene Sanchez.
Hello, I'm here tonight as a student, a community member, and employee of the city. Full support of the bill to allocate resources to outreach and education regarding protection of immigrants in the city. I've worked for multiple years in the service industry as a waitress, and then for 1 year as a paralegal in public interest law at the Lesson Center. I'm also a student at University of Rochester. The people of Rochester care about each other, and good people and community organizations already exist that can support people that are currently in dire need of legal assistance, housing, support, and community service. To vote no to this bill would be a waste of these resources in this community and an insult to what is quickly becoming our most vulnerable population. This is a city, not a federal administration, and the city, especially the city of Rochester, should not have a racial or national agenda. Cities are about the people, and as the city's representatives, I'm sure you know that immigrants make up our student population, our workforce, our faith and volunteer groups, our business owners, and our social community as a whole. They contribute hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes and billions in spending power. As far as the city of Rochester is concerned, there should be no difference between someone like me born an hour away from here and someone born in a different nation. But there is a difference. That difference comes from a campaign at the federal level to terrorize, fearmonger, and threaten immigrants. The federal government has put vital members of your community in physical danger, and it is up to you and to us to resist that. Our country has chosen a vision of violence, but the city does not have to. You have been given an opportunity to create a system of education and outreach that will help immigrants protect their children, retain their livelihood, and remain vital members of the Rochester community. As someone who has witnessed the effects of this hate campaign against immigrants in class and as coworkers, I ask you to vote yes. Thank you.
Darielle Garrett from the town of Henrietta.
My name is Larry. I was born and raised in Rochester and surrounding areas. I recently went to the University of Rochester and graduated in 2025. And even though I just recently moved to outside the city in Henrietta, I still work here every day and spend most of my time in the city. This is my community, and I want to see it thrive, and I want to see us take care of the people who make Rochester what it is today. I'm here in support of the bill to expand immigrant justice to services. As you all know, federal policy is increasing the hospitals to immigrant communities this year, and families are under the threat of unjust detention, deportation, and separation. So it means everything when local governments step up. A volunteer training program, Know Your Rights, fully staffed hotline, we are the educators. These are all tools that actually help people stay safe, informed, and connected to resources. These are solutions, tangible solutions that meet people where they are and make our whole city much stronger. For $125,000, the return is incredibly huge. 20 trained community educators, hundreds of residents receiving Know Your Rights education, and a dedicated hotline, as well as outreach on housing, healthcare, education, and emergency services, all things which are critical in times of crisis, which we very much are. This is exactly the kind of practical, compassionate, locally driven initiative that pushes back against what's happening federally. It keeps families together, strengthens communities with trust and empathy and reflects the values I grew up with in Rochester. I urge the council to pass the bill.
Maggie Kane. Marcus C. Williams of the South District, followed by Maria Gonzalez.
Hello everybody, my name is Marcus C. Williams, and I don't think that you guys should push forward that bill for putting all that money into these illegal aliens. They're not immigrants, and what about our citizens? 1/8 of our city right now is food insecure. In some districts, in some area codes, we're talking about 25%. We're 55% home insecure. Most people are not sure whether they're going to have a home to live in next month. And we're out here prioritizing people that can't even vote for you, that you don't even represent. You represent us, the citizens. They don't vote for you. We do. And that's very problematic. And we have such a number of issues, not even to mention the crime that continually goes on and goes unaddressed. Like, this money should be put for other things. I appreciate it a lot. But this isn't really about immigrants, it's about illegal aliens. And I wish that people would stop conflating the two. They are not the same. That's a very serious problem. And it's also conflating with refugees who don't get the services or any of the stuff that they need because they're being deprioritized because of it. Now, I don't know if my speech here tonight will do anything or change any hearts or minds or anything, but I feel like somebody should say something. You guys are supposed to represent us as citizens. Stop putting these resources to people from foreign countries that you're not even supposed to be representing. Like, what happened to the value of our Constitution? What happened to our rights and liberties? And if we're going to talk about, oh, well, the federal government is doing this, I don't even like the federal government. Period. I think we need to strengthen the government on the city and local level, too. But that's besides the point. The fact of the matter is you guys are supposed to serve us. Please serve us. You guys do everything for them. And our city is screaming for help. And we're not getting the services from you guys that we need. We deserve better. And I'm just pleading with you guys, please address your citizens' issues that vote for you, not people from foreign nations.
Maria Gonzalez. Giselle Harris. Oscar Brewer. Lori Thomas. Lorraine Carr. Ames Briggs. Sorry, Lorraine? Ames, okay.
Good evening, council members. My name is James Gray. I'm here tonight to advocate for equality and inclusion in regard to land use in Rochester. Open meeting laws are set up so that there can be equal and fair democracy, and the public can participate in the democratic process and be aware of decisions that are being made that affect their homes and their health and their lives, their properties. Currently the notification that goes out for land use hearings only goes out to property owners. Now, in a city that has 63% renters, this hardly seems to be in the spirit of a law meant to include the public in the democratic process. So what I'm asking is that a text amendment, just like the text amendments that you actually just saw in the legislature, a text amendment for the zoning code, a curve that is a very simple alteration. It would be a change from the word property owners to the word residents. And I've had contact with some of the council members, and nobody has expressed that they're not interested. And I've actually had a very positive response. But I would like to have a unilateral response to that. Something as simple as this that would be accessible to everyone, would benefit the entire city as a whole, could go through. Again, just changing property owners to residents as a text amendment in the zoning code. And it's a pretty straightforward process. Not unlike what you just announced here tonight. So, that's it. Thank you.
Matt Sadell is from the Northeast District.
Hello. First, two things I just wanted to say. First, is to echo what Ames was just talking about. The fact that Rochester is 63% renters, which means that as far as land use notifications go, a lot of times the vast majority of people don't even know what's happening until it starts happening. Whereas, a property owner who might not even live in the state or the country is going to know much more. So I think that's blatantly unfair, and the process to fix it is very straightforward, and it's within your purview to do so. And secondly, I just wanted to, as a lot of people I'm sure will tonight and have many times before, call for an end to the sweeps. It's just snowed recently, so I'm sure Mayor Evans is getting nostalgic for when we did a sweep a couple days before Christmas last year. So that's the death of a Rochester resident. I mentioned this last time, but I think it bears repeating that when Mayor Evans during the debate asked about sweeps, whether he would continue to do so given the number of deaths that have been associated with them in Rochester, he smiled at the camera and said that they don't happen at all. So, I just think that shows such a level of contempt for people. But given that, I'm not expecting to appeal to Mayor Evans' decency about the fact that homeless encampment sweeps not only are they deadly, but they're ineffective, they're costly, all these things. There's literally no benefit to them. But given that we know where he stands on it, I would just ask if he wants the council to be proactive, realize that we know what works. Overdose prevention, affordable housing for people. Honestly, just not doing the sweeps, especially because healthcare workers who work with young cows that these sweeps disrupt. The mayor doesn't even contact people. And we've seen this over and over again where healthcare workers are not advised that they're going to happen, so then they're unable to locate people, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. So please be proactive about trying to stop the sweeps and pursue measures that we know do work. Thanks.
Selena class is followed by Blue Seas. Selena's from the East District.
My name is Selena Hess, and I live on Meredith Street with my cousin Paul and four kids. We're a Tuesday water main door for children. I woke up around 5 a.m. and really thought I'd slept for the day. My family and I were trapped inside our home, walking water around and using the house another week. It was over 6 hours from that time that the moon rose, so we could physically see the first aid responders from our house. 6 hours of fears, pain, and zero communication. We had no idea what was happening or what to do. When I asked 911 what to do, they couldn't tell me because the protocol was virus in the house. When I later learned that people in jail and water poured out, I felt the pain. My only thought was, why did it take so long for someone to do this? And then I saw your press release. You know full well that most insurance policies do not support water damage outside the house. If you don't know that, you'll never have any then shame on you. The city's benefit not only not maintaining a century-old infrastructure, but in their rapid not be stupid to actually change. You reported that only 10 homes were affected by the flood. 10. That's 10 phone calls, 10 handshakes, and only 10 homes to check on. This isn't too much to ask for. Among us, we have neighbors who are facing tens of thousands of dollars in damages. A lot of us need to replace furnace, hot water heaters, washers, and dryers, and personal belongings. Now we have to worry about our foundation, mold, and our house. We have older neighbors and people with disabilities on our block. How are they supposed to haul water-soaked debris up their basement stairs? And we see a leak, words of work to deal with this tension. We can barely take the groceries to my family. Comics, prescriptions, and business boxes are along with we don't make it some of these actions. These dumpsters, these cans, sewers, these multipliers, these standard ground. At the very least, some of the conditions are not there to see the affected items and community. You deserve accountability, you deserve to be seen, and you deserve real help, now and not later. I'm requesting a private meeting for neighbors.
Blue Seas.
Everybody can speak. This mic is a little so you can speak really right into it. That would be great. Thank you. I want to hear what you have to say.
How's that? Good evening, Council. My name is Bruce Cease. I'm the Executive Director of the Rochester Contemporary Art Center. And speaking tonight on behalf of the smaller art venues and businesses that participate each month to make possible the first Friday citywide gallery night. I'm always grateful to be here to speak to council and hear from a room full of Rochesterians who care so deeply, and to hear them ask you to take action on critical issues like these humanitarian concerns. Tonight I'm here specifically to thank you for something you've already done, and that is supporting the First Friday project for the modest grant. We started First Friday in 2008 with just 5 art spaces. The goal was to benefit all the small venues who are often quite precarious, and strengthen our entire creative community. Since then, the whole project has grown tremendously. Now more than 30 venues ready to participate, and First Fridays draw up to 3,000 participants. Participants might be out viewing, purchasing artwork, they're out to meet each other, and afterward, of course, they go out and they spend dollars at other small businesses. Americans for the Arts has long demonstrated that every $1 invested in the arts returns up to $7 in local economic activity, and First Friday contributes to that every month. Until now, the program was sustained almost entirely by Roto's budget and with small contributions from participating venues. This recent grant from City Council marks the first time the City of Rochester has actually supported First Friday, and we're really grateful for you for recognizing its value, and especially Council Member Mary Lupian, who initiated this support. We're currently working to design a new website, and we'll be commissioning a beautiful fold-out map, and this support will help us create First Friday events and make it even more impactful. Hope to see you on First Friday, December 5th. Thank you.
Tim Kearney from the East District, followed by Sean O'Brien.
Good evening. I'm here to address the incident that occurred November 11th at the water main break that some of my neighbors here behind me were speaking about. I was affected by the incident as well. I woke up, my day started at 4 a.m. when I had to rush down to the basement to smell the burning furnace. And I didn't know what to do. The street was flooded as well, so my car was almost underwater at the time. Couldn't leave, basically stuck and trapped in the house. What I found interesting was the news reporter showed up hours before anyone from Monroe County or the city showed up. So way longer than it should to shut the water main off. If the city or the county had done that much earlier, a lot of the damage that myself and the neighbors felt could have been prevented. We were given no direction. We were being bounced back and forth between the fire department, Monroe County, the city of Rochester. People saying it's not our responsibility, it's the county's responsibility, it's not the county's responsibility, it's the city's responsibility. No answers, no direction from any of us. Myself and my neighbors are not responsible for thousands of dollars of damages. I just got a quote today for a new furnace, $8,000. I don't know how much pays that. My mother's living in the house right now, we don't heat, we don't have hot water. We've been in there for 2 days. This is everywhere to go. And I think the city needs to take some responsibility for that. Thank you.
Sean O'Brien is from the Northwest District.
Good evening, Councilman. Thank you for having me. I represent no one other than myself, and I act as a carrying cage in Oracle. We live in unprecedented times. Our federal government is fundamentally broken, and it corrupts everything below it. The head is dead, the body follows. And we, as a city, need to come together and help each other through our own personal crises and the global crisis that we are under. If we do not, we won't make it past the next couple of years. No matter what happens in this next couple of months, our societies fundamentally change. We will ever be so. And if we do not step up to this moment and help each other to unite as citizens, no matter our backgrounds, our origins, we are living souls on this earth. And it is only up to us to save ourselves. Thank you very much.
Jordan Denjuski is from the East District,
council members. I'm Drewski. I live at 19 Meredith Street, right by the corner of Culver and Meredith. I woke up at 6 a.m. on Tuesday morning to see a geyser down the streets pouring out of Culver and not a single vehicle or first responder in sight aside from the drone recording camera and the other. I have thousands of dollars in damage in my basement, and I know that I'm better off than many of my neighbors. I'm here tonight to implore you to give some relief to myself and my neighbors and to bring forth some accountability for the negative delay in response. I did not see a truck on Culver until 7:30. The water main stopped pouring until probably afterwards. I'm also requesting a private meeting with our neighbors and city representatives to help guide us and talk about how this is affecting each of us differently and how you will help your constituents remedy this. Thank you.
Megan Milhern Davidson is from the Northeast District.
My name is Megan Milhern Davidson, and my family and I live on the corner of Culver and Meredith Street. Water main breakdown Tuesday morning happened almost directly in front of my home. I want to emphasize to council the devastating impact of the delay in response on my neighbors. On an average day, all of our basements are completely dry even after heavy rain. I confirmed with the previous owner of my home this morning that it was dry for 34 years before today and this week. We keep a lot of things on our basements that we use it for storage for our personal items, we use it for laundry, we use it for exercise. I own a small business that works in Washington, all of our equipment is in the basement. The high water mark in our basement after the break was 21 inches, which is feet lower than some of my neighbors. Everything out below that line is things like water and dryer, federal powerful parts supply this business equipment. My wedding keepsakes, books, movies, collections, irreplaceable items are totally lost. Things stored in rigid totes that we thought would be fine because they were plastic totes are destroyed. We're lucky to have them. But we're worried about the long-term damage to our area that we just paid off our foundation, not to mention future inflation and cold. None of this is covered by insurance because the water originated outside of our property. The hours of successfully responding cost all of us thousands of dollars to run. The difference between a few inches of water and almost 2 feet or more is catastrophic. I'm self-employed, and when I'm doing this, I'm not working. My husband is using vacation time. The stress of cleaning, drying, and fixing everything is overwhelming. We love Rochester, and we've chosen to make this food at home. But what we think makes it great to is both celebrating our community strengths and successes, and admitting when we fail and making amends. We understand that it should rise from that impact and build the integrity of how we work as a together. I urge you to do what's right to my neighbors.
So for the individuals that are here for the watering break, if you stay, I would like to have an opportunity to sit down.
Raul Bullock, Tom Gates, Albert Avery, Kevin Lockhart, Lori Finby. From the town of Charlotte, followed by Pastor Wanda Wilson.
Before you start the clock on me, I spent a lot of time preparing to come and see you guys, and a lot of members up here are looking at their phones and they're looking at their computers instead of hearing what we are here to say. I appreciate a little courtesy to the speakers. My name is Lori, and if you haven't looked at the Verona Street Animal Society Facebook page, you really should. I those who oversee Rochester Animal Services try to put a stop to what they're doing. People are being denied help when they find a stray, call animal control, and dogs are being euthanized because the shelter continues to be full of capacity. Please care about the animals. They're just wandering the streets, and there's no place for them to go. And you guys come year after year for your help, and nothing is changing. Thank you. Yay!
Pastor Ron Lewis.
I just want to start by first addressing, I'm not sure how this list works, where it says that our council district is not applicable, but I would say my district is very applicable, considering the topic that I'm speaking on for the Red Campaign, which is around the RGB increases. I live in 14613, probably, I believe it's the 5th poorest zip code in Rochester, New York. And RG&E hikes are certainly going to impact black and brown people, poor people who live in that particular zip code. Now, for what I came to speak on behalf of the coalition, Metro Justice and the Rochester for Energy Democracy Coalition was very happy to see the opposition of City Council members Melendez, Gruber, Monroe, and Patterson to the rate hikes during the hearings conducted by the Public Service Commission on September 30th. We noticed that you all have been listening and realized the dire threat of an average of $624 increase in RG&E rates would mean to the people of Rochester. That means you should know that such a raise would put 50,000 more RG&E customers in energy poverty. In a city with the 3rd highest energy burden in the country, and that closing the walk-in office at 180 South Clinton would make more customer service even less accessible. And that, with the PSC still not forcing RG&E to implement the recommendations of the May 2025 audit, we can't even know if our bills are accurate. And with the federal heat office being closed and New York stepping in to fill the gap, but not being able to meet the full need, thousands in our community will face crisis, especially as RG&E already surpassed their record 2024 shut-off numbers as of August of 2025. We hope that your speaking out means that we're on the same team, that you realize from the PCS's lacking action in the past and currently that just calling for them to not increase rates is not enough. That we'll be in this unending cycle of powerlessness until we take the power into our own hands and investigate the possibility of a public utility. Thank you.
Sophie Mauer. Okay, Sophie back.
First, we have to ensure that the room understands that no one is illegal, because immigration is a civil matter and no human is illegal. They are undocumented and documented individuals. As you know, the City of Rochester is home over 70,000 immigrants, and we contribute over $872 million in taxes, hold $2 billion in spending power, and strengthen the major industries such as healthcare, construction, hospitality, manufacturing, and education extent. So I wanted to make it clear that we are contributing to our local economy and including contributing to our diversity. Yet despite all this contribution, many families still live in fear, with misinformation and uncertainty about their rights. And how do we know this? Because people do not understand their rights. We need to provide education and programs like the Immigrant Business Initiative, especially around outreach and education, to ensure that we can deliver know your rights workshops and respond to emergencies, provide referrals, and ensure that people have accurate, reliable information. This is not only about immigrants. This is about all of us. Rochester is the home of Susan B. Anthony and Freddie B. Douglass, two of our greatest champions of equality, justice, and education. The legacy reminds us that we're not only protecting immigrants, but we have to stand up for vulnerable families whose voices are often overheard. Recent decisions by the Supreme Court of the United States is putting immigrants and Latinos and U.S. citizens in a situation where we can also be detained or stopped just because hablamos español, just because the color of my skin. I'm a U.S. citizen. I am a city, long-time, almost resident. I just recently moved out, but I love this city. And I represent hundreds and thousands of immigrants and other individuals who live here. As the co-founder of Puerto Ricanos United in the Distance, I also represent a lot of Puerto Ricans who are also U.S. citizens who are being stopped or being detained illegally. We need to educate our families, our community, about our First Amendment rights that volunteers freedom of speech, our Fourth Amendment rights, and our Fifth and 14th Amendment rights. Again, I just wanted to remind you that through our partnership and commitment, we can make Rochester the city where all of us can live with dignity and safety. We must stand Rochester strong.
Your time is
Rochester
up.
strong. Thank you.
My name is Sophie Mowers. I'm a resident of Rochester, New York, and grew up in the surrounding areas of Rochester for my entire life. I'm a graduate from SUNY Brockport with a criminal justice degree. I come from a family who have dedicated their lives to public service and working with members of the community. I myself work in public service in Rochester, New York, and have seen firsthand the atrocities that have affected the immigrant community within our city, and the pain and suffering these families have had to face since the new federal administration took office. I believe it is vital, now more than ever, that measures are put in place to provide knowledge and a sense of relief for our immigrant neighbors. My opinion is for the board to vote yes on the Immigrant Justice Initiative, as it would be an important step in the right direction to combat the senseless, violent, and clearly racist and criminal actions of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers. Thank you for taking this.
Good evening, City Council members. Thank you for having me. I am here because I have an urgent appeal for our community to take action tonight, especially at the City Council meeting, the City Council members, and members of our city. I know that we need everyone's presence and voice to advocate for the comprehensive Know Your Rights trainings and resources. This is a critical opportunity to empower our community, especially its most vulnerable members, with essential information about their rights during interactions with any official in the city. That they know their rights, that it's accessible, that they have clear guidance, that they will foster greater understanding of safety and reduce the paralyzing fear that our families are experiencing. Please know that your vote to support this initiative is invaluable. Please join us in speaking up for our families' rights, for our children's rights, for our grandparents' rights. This is not just immigrants, it's people who immigrate to here. It's people who are Puerto Rican with grandparents, with all their 7 children. They worked the fields here in Rochester in the 60s. So I'm not talking as a person who is educated, who's been in the city 17 years, is a homeowner, but I'm talking about from my own family's experience. Please support this initiative. Thank you, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Maggie Kane.
Don't put the jacket on. What are you guys stuck in my sweater?
Actually, it's kind of interesting. I think this is the closest Mayor Evans has ever been to speak to council downstairs. So, Lori talked a lot about backyard reading. Backyard reading, the endless pits behind bars like Corona Street, males, females found on the same streets week after week, puppies, lactating females, males, lots from the same area. We talked about this. I've kind of actually given up hope that we're ever going to get any of that, a new, without other funds, a new animal shelter. But I haven't given up the fact that you can ban backyard breeding. New York City has banned it, Ashbury, New Jersey has banned it, and I think it's interesting that this is what it says about
Rochester, New York. Backyard breeding is restricted in Rochester, New York, as you must have a permit to breed animals. In addition to a state permit, you may need a City of Rochester animal and poultry license if you have more than 4 dogs over 4 months old. And there are specific housing and space requirements for all animals. It is also unlawful to breed if you do not meet the city's limits of 4 dogs per household in buildings with 3 or fewer units. Now, I know a lot of you know that I volunteer every Sunday, do a pet food pantry over in North Clinton, and I'm not pointing out anyone in particular, but there are dogs all over there. There are dogs in cellars, there are dogs tied up, there are dogs in tents, and people are breeding their dogs and selling them. The other day when I worked, somebody had a bearded dragon that I had to find a home for. I don't know if you know anything about bearded dragons, but they can't live in a tent. So I just really, if we can work together, I really need you to think about, I'm willing to meet with you, we really need a backyard breeding. It can be done, so let's work together on it.
Maria Gonzalez. Giselle Harris, Oscar Brewer, Lori Thomas, Lorraine Parr,
Hello. As usual, we are here with the same problems as always. Same problems, same brains. But, I blame the voters because y'all voted for the same people, so not much to say there about that. But anyway, I'm here for animal rights that aren't being enforced in our city. They're not being enforced by, gave $125,000 for outreach workers to inform migrants about their rights, but why don't you have something similar to that for backyard breeding? Why don't you have people go out to the city and educate our residents about how bad backyard breeding is, and what about animals being out in the cold or hot sun, or the winter? Because winter's coming up, so we're going to have a lot of animals out there frozen. They're going to be cold, and they're going to be hungry, and we're going to have the same problem that, we always have every year, frozen dogs. So I just want to know why nothing's ever done. Why do we have to come up here every month and tell you the same stories? Why? I don't know why. But you know what? I blame you guys, the voters, that voted for this crap. Because that's what we got.
Raul Bullock, Albert Agarin, Kevin Lockhart.
All right, thank you, everyone. That concludes our Speak to Council for the month of November. We will have our general meeting on Tuesday at 6 o'clock here in Council Chambers. Have a good night.